Okay, so we're going to get started right away, and we are going to talk about the loveliness of whatever you need coaching on. So, whoever wants to start, go ahead and raise your hand and let's get into it. Also, just celebrating all of you guys, keep posting in here. I honestly, since we didn't really use this as much at the beginning, I was like not really checking it as much. But now that I see you guys posting in here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll start checking this. And I actually, after our call, I have an interview with one of 5 VAs that I am interviewing to help me to be like, Megs, respond to this shit at the end of the day. They'll be like, perfect. So proud of you, Alicia. I'm like, what? I'm like, 5 consults in a freaking week. So freaking proud of you. Harmony, if you join later, I literally just use Zoom and then I record the uploadings for anybody. Re- um up upload recordings to YouTube. I figured if I was gonna if if like anything does actually happen with YouTube, which I am going to again save for my VA, very exciting. I that is all going to be within my YouTube, and I let people access that without having any extra like things to go through. All of this is private. So if you guys are wondering how I uploaded the videos to the Six Figure Systems classroom without anybody actually seeing them, all the videos in our group are on a separate playlist. If you make a playlist with YouTube, click here, upload video. Let's say I actually do have, I was like, so let's say I upload this video. I can make it in a playlist. And when you make a new playlist, you can choose to make it private. So if you make it private on YouTube, no one else can, even if they go to my page, even if they go to my channel, they can't see the private ones. You have to have a link to the private ones. Now, let's say I was like, if I put it in one of your either the December or October mastermind, it's private. But then I'm not going to do that because this is not for something that's private. If I click done, I'm going to say, yes, it's made for kids. You click next, next. And then if it's a private playlist, one of the times I think Nadia, you were like, I can't see the video. And the reason is I accidentally clicked private. Even if it's in a private playlist, if you click public, then anyone with the link can watch your video, but not everyone in the world. It's just in my YouTube. So any of our calls, they're all anonymous and it will say public here. It'll say public, everyone can see the video. But if it's in a private playlist for our mastermind, you can see that, oh, geez, it says visibility is public. We don't want that. Private, safe. So I tried to make sure that they were all private. That's embarrassing. But like all my systems and protocols for a VA, I've like made, I was like, when I hire somebody, I'm going to have a module about that because I'm like, it's going to be an adventure for probably the next 2 to 3 months. But I'm going to teach, I have systems, at least I'm going to be teaching these humans. And so that's going to be helpful. One-on-one coaching, I also have a private playlist for. And the mastermind modules, I should also make freaking private. There we go. That would be helpful. But yeah, I don't think that many people are very active on the YouTubes. So Harmony, that is your answer to your question. Just to show you what it looks like. Um, I'm gonna say watch beginning of call. Watch beginning to see explanation. And also to Demetria, 5 outreach emails. And what I have found is that Demetria now has a consult on Wednesday. So this shit works. Let's fucking go. So exciting. And I think that so the consult came from the life coach school directory. However, I think it's like this weird thing that like, and this is the stuff that I just don't understand. Anyone who's into like energetics, you might have like more of a stooped taste for this. But literally, whenever I do outreach, people come to me from random places. It's not usually from the outreach itself. People just come. So I'm like very fucking proud of you. And like this is awesome. So very exciting of today's call to see explanation for anybody. Thank you for bearing with me as I type and talk because I know I'm not the best at doing both. Okay, who wants some coaching to start us off today? Alicia, give us a win and let's get going. Oh, I'm asking you to unmute. There we
Yeah.
go.
Sorry about
Hi,
that. Here I
no
am
worries.
just rambling.
You're just rambling to yourself. We love this. And I would love to hear your win out loud.
I created about 5 or more consults
What
this
a
past
casual
week.
sentence. Love this.
Um they weren't all scheduled for this past week. I've got a couple this week and I think one the following week, but they all stemmed from my, launch email series. So that was pretty awesome just to see those start rolling in and feel like I really had turned my messaging around.
Yes.
Um, I also have been going back through and the people who click on the consult link but don't actually book, I've been sending them messages and I've only had one person reply and it was like, I can't do it during any of the times that you're available. So I tried to, I'm trying to start a dialogue with her.
Yes. I freaking
Um,
and for everybody, just real quick, if you actually are able to see people that are clicking on the consult link, what you can do is you can say, "Hey, I it was brought to my attention from other people who were trying to book consults that the times weren't available. So sorry about that. I'm reaching back out to everyone who got to the booking link to be like super transparent with them, being like, and I wanted to see if there were like if that was the issue or if there were any other times that I could like give me like 3 other times that work for you and I'll try and make one of those work. Um, but that could be a great sentence starter for anybody that's seeing that. So awesome.
yeah, yeah. I said something, along those lines. Thanks so much for your interest in booking a consult. I know my calendar's been full. If you can't find a time that's works for you, just reply to this, message and with a couple times it would work and I'll definitely get you scheduled or something like that. I'd love to talk more with you. Um, it's
I'm
only,
literally like everyone copy and paste this into if you ever do this. So good.
um, it's only gotten a couple of replies, but that's fine. And, all my consults have shown except for one, and then she messaged me that she had gotten tied up in a meeting, and couldn't make it. And, but so is that enough wins?
Of course, give me some coaching stuff now.
Okay.
So you,
Yeah. So what I need help with is follow-ups because all my people are coming to the follow-ups. And I think we started to touch on this last week, but didn't
mhm.
quite get there. But all the consult stuff was really, really helpful from last week. I just want to thank you again for that.
Yes.
Um, the one of my consults, I referred back to the doctor to get either a follow-up or a second opinion because I didn't like what she was hearing, what she was saying. I mean, not that I didn't like it, but
No, it's like, oh, this is like
yeah,
we got a meniscus tear.
professionally, I was like, there's some red flags here, and I just want you to have this, for sure buttoned up before we work together. Um, Another person got back from a trip, and I think this was just timing. She had gotten back from a trip to Patagonia on Monday, saw my Monday email, booked the consult for that afternoon, I think is how it went. And anyway, we were on the phone and she's like, I just got back and these were my issues. And I think it was just a matter of really timing for her too. She's like, oh, that's a lot of money. That's a whole nother trip. And I'm, there were some other things that I could have definitely see where I could have buttoned up, but also I think she was not really in the mindset to buy, just coming
Just
back,
checking in.
getting back to work, getting back into life, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Anyway, but she showed up to the follow-up, as did a couple other people. And so I need a structure from follow-up, because what I end up saying is like, so did you have a chance to think about things? Do you have any other questions for me?
Mhm.
And it's like, well, this sounds not great. So I don't even know
Yeah. What to
how,
say in a
how
follow-up.
what to say, how to
Yeah. Really good
segue.
question.
Do I recap what we talked about before? Like, I don't, you know.
Yep. I was like, I got
Because
you.
then when they say, yeah, it's too much, then I got nowhere to go, because I just,
Yeah. So for me, if I get on a consult with follow-up with somebody, the first thing I like to do is put myself in a leadership role to kind of be like guiding the
right,
conversation. So if you don't
right.
have a structure, of course you're not guiding the conversation, which totally makes sense. Now, they are your follow-ups a full hour as well?
No, I usually, no.
Do like 30 minutes for that. You've also your shift. How has the hour-long consult been for you? Has that already felt like a shift? Did you have a chance to shift it before the launch?
I did, I did shift it, and I did on my calendar at least. And I tried to, I don't think I went into my scheduler and tried to do all of that. I think it still says 30 minutes. So I've got to go back and revisit that.
Yeah.
But just giving myself that hour, um, felt a whole lot better. Yeah, my pace was better. I wasn't in a rush. I
Oh,
was, yes, it had just flowed more easily for sure.
so freaking proud of you. And like it's
I
a
haven't
shift.
done video yet, so I'm working up to it. Just give me a
That's
minute.
totally fine. I was like, take your time. Literally, it's not to like trigger your nervous system and to like all the change all at once. Let's like close these humans. But the first thing I like to do is like first off, like get for the structure for a follow-up. And this goes for everybody. If you're doing a follow-up, I like to put myself like back in a leadership position. In leadership position. And one of the things that I would ask before the follow-up is I would like to ask when they're like, okay, I would love to like take some time to follow it up. What you can do is you can be like, okay, like what are the three things that you're going to think about between now and our follow-up? And that's what we'll start the follow-up with. So I don't think I've ever told anybody that, but like, because I actually don't do follow-ups as much as other people, but the times that I do, it's like, what are the three questions lingering? And we will start the follow-up with it. Like it's like and you can say like maximum three questions, the call with that. From there, I like to be like, hey, it's like I do like to do a recap. Number one, be like, hey, Alicia, it's so great to see you again. These were the things that I remember us talking about. We were talking about making sure that you're ready for this hike. I definitely want to get you started by June because I know that there's going to be like a lot of things that we want to do to increase your strength. I know that we talked about this as far as health and this and this and this. And I know that between our last consult and now, there were a couple of questions that were like still up in the air. I think one was price, timing, and this kind of thing. We talked about that, but I want to use the time that we have today to give any other clarifications. It's like, so recap, restate, and then respond to questions. Man, y'all, I'm like on it with like acronyms lately. I was doing it with like a coach that I have for nothing related to business at all. And I'm like very excited. I was like, oh, so you're telling me that this is this. And, anyways, so love it. How does that feel for you? Recap, restate, respond to the questions, and coach them through any like last lingering things.
Um, yeah, that sounds good. The only thing is that most of the time for my people, it's I have to talk to my husband. Like that is the like I have to think about the money or talk to my husband about the money.
Okay.
It's
So then you'll
all
be responding like I was doing this with another client last week. And this is something that I think could potentially be helpful. Are these people that you're doing consults with, are they typically in charge of the finances? I know it's a very like odd question. Do you feel like there is like equitable financial responsibility as far as income coming in, not responsibilities in the household, but do you think that there is like, is that something that's going on potentially that they
Yeah,
might not be the breadwinner?
well, I feel like there's equity in the most of the time, but if they're not the breadwinner, even so, I have women who say, well, he'll say whatever I want, but it's a matter of respect. I mean, and I totally get it. Like I wouldn't spend, $2,500 out of our combined budget without just
Talking.
running it by my husband. So
Okay.
I get that. That's why this is really, it's never a problem for me and so and I know that this is not a 2K thing. This is something I learned from someone else, but it just makes so much sense. And to me, it creates so much safety. Is just at the beginning, I say, if this is a hell yes for you, then I will tell you how to get started. There's also the possibility that you are like, heck yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for, but I need to run it by a significant other. And that's okay too. And we'll schedule a follow-up in the next 48 hours. And then I say, if it's not a good fit, I'll refer you to another resource that I think might be helpful for you. Does that sound good? And, you can just sort of hear them go like, oh, okay. Like this
Yeah,
isn't
I
going to be
love
a high
that.
pressure situation.
I'm like obsessed with this. Because I feel like it does. It just takes the like pressure off. And when you have that level of detachment from the initial consult, so what I'm hearing you say is that like you create like a really like um a pressure-free environment on at the very beginning of the call. And be
Yes.
like, I love, love, love that. So it's like the three things like to start a consult. And I think that this is a great thing for everybody if you want to do this. And then if it's a follow up, ask the follow up. Then be like, come with any questions you have. Let me know if there's any questions that you want me to like start with, and then that's how we'll start it.
Mhm.
I think that creates a lot of safety in a buyer. And again, I've been learning a lot about like safety, like creating safety for a high ticket sale.
Mhm.
And I think that that's like the best way to start out things. And especially as you guys start to get more people that don't know you, it's nice to like have that like common ground that you start with. So I love this.
Mhm.
Within the like the husband situation, you're saying it's like, okay, I want to respect him. What has what has been the response? Like it's too expensive for us right now.
Um, yes, typically, right. Like typically if they have their own job, it's not a problem. And I think,
That's why I was
you know,
wondering.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
had a feeling.
If they have their own job, or if they had their own job, if they're retired, but they had their own career, it's typically not a problem. Um, but even like this nurse, that just had done the Patagonia trip, she has her own income. And I think for her, it was a matter of like, well, I can go on another hiking trip or I can invest in this. And I really talked to her about, how is this investment going to be the best thing for you in the future? But I just think her head was not in the right place. It
And
was
just like,
coming back and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but
well, one of the things that I just wanted to like, it is, I was like, it's not and it is. So it's like, I think that your brain is lumping things together. So it's like a word of caution to everyone, don't lump consults together because it sounds like it was three separate situations that you experienced on these consults. There was the nurse, there was a person who didn't have the money and then went to their husband, they didn't have the job, and there was like another situation, right? Because you had three consults this week,
God, I've had so many. It was,
which is such a cool sentence. I was like, isn't that like such a good problem to have?
It was a great
Just goes to
problem.
show you that like every level there are still problems and it's totally fine. We can figure this out.
Yes, one was don't have that kind of, okay, yeah, this was another person who, yeah, she has her own job. It's not that, but that wasn't a follow-up. That was a no on the call.
Okay.
So just looking at follow-ups,
So yeah, so we got one. The first consult was no on a call. What was the second one?
um,
Nurse Patagonia.
yes. The third one, I referred to a physician follow-up. The fourth one said yes. And then the fifth one, I had a follow-up schedule today, but she just texted me when we got on and she's got laryngitis, so
Okay. And
hopefully we'll follow up
okay.
later in the week.
So okay. So the thing that we want to kind of like figure out is like these are the two that we were taking a look at. We're taking a look at nurse and this follow-up that's rescheduling. So
And the yes was a follow-up, but she just ended up texting me.
okay, so I would like for everybody that gets a yes. These are the easiest consults to not do a consult eval on. These are the best ones to do a consult eval on. We want to figure out why she said yes. Were there any factors? So essentially, it's like we're creating the Alicia Hiker formula for consults. So it's like anyone that it's like, what are the variables that each person has? Now, each person, of course, is unique and individual and all that. That's not what I'm saying. But
Mhm,
it's like there are going to be different ways that you can approach different situations. So you can be like, okay, married, has job. This is typically the outcome of this situation. Married, does not have job. This is something that they've said, but I also have people who have said yes that are married and don't have a job. Why did they say yes versus this other person that's saying
mhm,
no? What's going on here? And like doing your marketing within this. And the thing like so it's like for the person who maybe if we do look at the case study of all of your consults, if they don't typically if we're seeing a trend, we want to pay attention to trends. So it's like attention to trends. And that's why we don't want to lump it. We want to be like really clear that it's like a different situation for each person. So you kind of have like a response for each. Now, did I share with you guys my objections thing? The
mhm.
objection like okay, I'll share it. I'll find it real quick. But I have like this whole sheet that I made of all the objections that I heard at the beginning of my business. And it's like, okay, money, time, kids are home all day, not interested. I'm like, that's fine. Entertaining it. Want to start after the holidays. Like I made a list of all the things that I got that were objections and I had it up before I started sharing my screen when I was doing the consult. So those are the trends that I saw. And I was like, oh, I have a way to handle this. Because I don't want what I don't want you to do is have an objection that you don't know how to handle. You know what I mean? Like that you're like, like I think that you're so it's like that's the goal of the follow-up is just learning another avenue to handle objections in the follow-up situation. Does that
Mhm.
all make sense before I continue?
Yes. What are the odds though that you're gonna follow up, that they come to the follow-up a no because of the money and you're gonna be able to,
Shift them.
yeah,
I would say that is when I think we talked about like last so it's like okay.
yeah. I
So
know
when we
last
talk
week you
about like the
said,
no, it's like no to start being like, I'm going to give you as much as I can to make this time worth it.
yeah. And I did do
And
that. So thank you for that from last time because I
yeah, of
did,
course.
my nurse lady, I was like, okay, so here's what you need to do. What is your plan to solve this problem? Let's figure it, let's figure
Yes.
out. And she's like, well, I was going to look at your blog. And I was like, yeah, definitely go in there. I've got so much free
Uh-huh.
content. Did you get that, free lead magnet that I sent you? Oh yeah, I don't know what I did with it. I was like, okay, find that. You've got to get there, and then you've got to get in the Facebook group, and let me know how you're doing. Um, if you've got questions or anything is hard or challenging, put it in there so that that's going to be the easiest way for me to contact, and so for you to contact me, and I can support you there.
Yep.
So I did do
Beautiful.
that. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Of course, and that goes for everybody. That's why it's nice to have like it's like I do actually, that's one of the reasons why I have a Facebook group like thing as part of it. If you don't have a Facebook group, you do not have to have a Facebook group. But if you do want a Facebook group, I have it here. Like the things to have in the Facebook group. Um, but it's nice to have like a community to give them. You know what I mean? It's like, what is your plan to solve this problem? Find that, get in the Facebook group. Check out the free content. Got this. Get in the Facebook group. I'll check with, and then the other piece that I added here is that I will check back in with you and let you know other like and see how your progress is going. Like I will continue to check in on your progress. This becomes the person you reach out to consistently. Be like, hey, I just want to see how like it's going. Like put them on the networking list for later. So you'll check back in with these humans.
Oh,
And you're like, hey, how'd it go? I would love that I've got a to do for you. Change it to an hour on consult. And I'm gonna add here. It's like follow, add any not nows to outreach. This goes for everybody. Spreadsheet. Continue to reach out to them and see how things are going. Another reason why I really like having virtual consults is like all my notes are virtual. So I just like search their name if I don't have their information. And I'll be like, what did we talk about? And then I'll put it in my sales scorecard and lead gen. I think yours is called something different. I called it something way better. But like I'll put the information there. Like one of my clients in the next group, we did a consult and I put her notes there. So I knew every time that I like talked to her, this is what we would talk about.
oh, because you take notes during the consult on a Google Doc.
Yeah. And that just makes it helpful to like have something to reference. I'm like,
Uh,
oh my God, I remember this girl, Jackie. She was very sweet. I have no fucking clue what we talked about. I'll go back to the consult and be like, oh yeah, you coach this person and you do this and this is what you want to do. It's like, how have things going? That's actually what I'm gonna do this week. I'm reaching out to like everybody on my list again and being like, how are you? How are things going? It's
and
been
do you
so
do
long.
that via email?
Instagram,
Oh, you do
just
it.
because I can send them videos. And like what I like, if you are like ever on a walk, like you can send them a Facebook message. Especially if
Mm-hmm.
you're telling them if the next step is for them to join the Facebook group, then you're saying that like this is the best way to contact method or contact. Then you can open that door and start to figure out. It's like, hey, I was like, how is the knee pain going? It's like, I want to check in. Was it enough? I was like, if you're still looking for more support, we've got you in this group. Or you can be
Okay.
like, I've got a webinar coming up, and then you can sell them that way. Like I really do, and then like do the sell them on the webinar, and then sell them on the consult in the program afterwards. Be like, I really just if you haven't seen the progress, I just want to let you know that like I'm always here for you. The group is actually I made it evergreen, so you can join at any time. A little different than it was before. That's just for you and your situation, not everybody.
Yeah. Um, okay. I mean, I
How's that
haven't
feel?
had historically a lot of luck in Facebook Messenger, but
But if you are telling them, like, I'll send you like just these people, the and still go back to the peoples and be like,
yeah.
yeah, I think you also didn't want to do it before. So it's like it's a lot like for the Facebook Messenger, it's like I found that if I am like, oh, I have to send these emails, then or I have to send these messages to people, then of course my conversations are gonna be trash. But if I'm like, I genuinely just like want to see how they're doing. Like if like it's like, how is Julia? It's like I wanted like because I actually like I'm very intrigued about people's businesses regardless. Like I try and get myself into a place at least where I get really interested and I'm like, how is it going? Like when even people who are like old clients and stuff like that, I'll reach back out to them too.
Okay.
How's that feel, first off?
Yeah, that feels good. Yeah, if I have some notes or something, I can make it contextual, but yes, I can do that.
Okay. And then the other thing, like it's sounding like the two issues, like I would say that if they're a no in here, then you again just send them to the follow up. And another thing that like you could do to start the social media relationship could be I'll tag you in a post about this, you know?
Mm,
Um I that's what I did with the consults I had 2 weeks ago. I'm like tagging them in posts and I'm like, here, I'm gonna do a live coaching call. I'll let you know when it is, and we'll make sure that you can get in there and it's gonna be great.
mm,
So that could be helpful. The other thing is with the objections, I want you to start to notice trends, see what kind of this is from a long, long time ago, but it's like and a lot of spelling errors. Sheesh. I was like, my gosh, people. Can you tell I was a teacher? No. But why 10 months? Why 150 a session? Um, who is it for? Why is it like this? Could you commit to 2 times a month? And I'm like, no, I can't do every other week. Objections yourself. Free materials if you need it. If it's too good to be true, I can't make the decision for you, but it'll make a world of difference. But when I started to see the trends, I was like, oh, I kind of honestly knew what they were going to say before they said it almost. Does
mm-hmm.
that make sense? Like it was kind of like not that we don't want to make assumptions because assumptions make an ass out of you and me. We know this. But it's like I think that like if you go into it with like some example scenarios, it can be really, really helpful. The other thing that I never did that I was like, so one of my clients, she coaches people who are like in a really financially like shifting hard situation, separations or divorces. And she was like, they don't even know how to do their finances. They don't even know like what would it look like to be enough? Like how would they even know if they've got enough money to do this? Like because if someone else has been handling the finances for them and things like that. So then either you can talk to them about like, hey, what kind of things would you be looking for to feel financially safe? And then that will probably come up with some other objections and be like, yeah, like it's like for me, I've noticed that like a lot of my clients, they're in the same situation. I just want to make sure you know what to look for. And so if you want, I can talk you through like how you would know that these finances are like a good situation for you and or how to talk to your partner about it if it's not something you're used to doing because it can be feel like super weird if you've never talked to your partner ever about spending thousands of dollars and you're like surprise I really want to do this program it's thousands of dollars be like I've been there I so many of my people have been there do you want me to walk you through how most people have those conversations if this is something that's kind of weird and out of pocket for you and they can always say like, "Oh no, I feel like I got this." And you're like, "Okay, great. Like, you let me know. Can't wait for the follow up. It's gonna be great." Or, but I think the biggest thing is they don't know how to talk about like things they want with their partner a lot of the times. Like they
Well, yeah, that might be true for your people. I don't think that's 100% true for all of my people because most of
okay.
them are going. I mean, you can, yeah, leave it there because I'll think about that. But most of them are telling me about trips they've taken and hiking trips and things they have scheduled. And so I don't think that's it. I don't think
Well,
it's
I'm
that.
wonder well, and this just goes for everybody, but I'm wondering if they are used to spending like thousands and thousands of dollars for a trip, but they're not used to spending thousands of dollars on like coaching.
No, that's possible.
That's the thing I'm like it's like most people have never had a coach before. It's like something that's very different. So if like if you I know it might be a different conversation versus being like, hey, do you want to go to Atlantis or do I want a coaching thing? It's like about like what to talk to your partner about, like when it comes to something like coaching. It comes to, because I don't think that I'm don't know if this is true, but a lot of people that you guys might be like meeting have never invested in coaching ever before. And it's like a weird, like I will say it is not weird, but it was a huge shift in my mindset. And I was in a very interesting place in my life when I was like, send me coaches. I was like, I will pay whatever you need. I've got it. I was in a situation where it required that level of all inness that most people I'm not sure are in. You know, when they like they're just thinking about like, oh, this is something that like so they have to be really sold on the value of it and like be like, I know coaching can be something that you've never probably invested in before. I don't, is it, and ask them, be like, has it been something that you've invested in for? If not, it's like, do you want to talk about like, it's like, if it's a weird conversation, feel free to bring your partner so like I can show him all the stuff I showed you, or I can show him be like, here's the back end, here's what I would want to do for you, those kind of things, like, and
Yeah.
have the partner come to the follow up so you can have that conversation with them.
Yeah, I think there might be something there. I got to investigate. Most of these people have had a trainer at some point. And so then I think it becomes the discussion
Mm,
about what is the difference and the
yes.
value. Um,
And that's marketing that will make you millions. And trainer. And I would even do, and I see Nadia has a thought as well, but I would do like a diagram on Canva and be like coaching versus person training. And like have like a little it's been a while since I made a diagram. Like something like this, like being like personal training, fitness, and like have that almost in the corner, and then be
mhm.
like coaching, nutrition, this, and this. That could even be, I know you don't love Instagram, but on Facebook, it could be something that you like when I talk about the pinned post about your program, you could
Uh-huh.
have that as like the next slide or even the first slide to be like, what is hiking coaching? Like, let me show you. It's like lots of people come to me and they have a personal trainer, and that's awesome. This is why it's so different. Anyways, so I think there could just be like an educational thing that could be an awesome marketing opportunity. And then also
Yeah.
a great discussion to have on the consult. You could even have that as a diagram on the sheet that you do consults with if you wanted to,
Okay.
because people
Okay.
are visuals. Awesome. Nadia, what is your thought?
Hey, I hope you don't mind me, but I've just like got a couple of thoughts that I was
Yes,
thinking while you
bring
were
of
talking.
course not. I'm like, this is a collaborative mastermind. This is literally what it's designed for. Bring your thoughts.
Um, so no, yeah, I was just thinking, the only thing I was thinking about is like, because I totally agree as well. Like, if I was making a big investment, generally I would want to speak to Andy, not like ask him, but just get buy-in in some way that
Yeah.
you're like, by the way, I'm doing this. So I
Yeah,
get
the
it.
respect
But
thing.
like one thing that I don't, you might check this with them as well, is like a lot of the time people will say they need to check with their partner as a way because they're not 100% sure. So like for me, it's like clarifying with the client, like, do you think the result of what your program has given them, which is a pain-free hike, is worth the money, which is what, like 2.5 grand? Like, do you think it's worth that? Because, and if he's a no, like if it's not like, are you still a yes? Like these types of things, because you're trying to clarify, are they sold completely?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're not sold, they're going to go to their husband with energy of like, I'm not really sure if this is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Can we spend money? And of course they're going to be like, well, no. Versus then going and being like, I am so sold that this is the solution, right? And to get that result, the end result is worth the 2.5K.
Mm. Yes, yes. Yeah, if they're not sold, they're putting it off, that's the classic dynamic is they're putting off the no.
But
Awesome.
they're also, they might still want to talk to their husband, but they're going to go with a completely different energy of like, I don't know if you think this is a good idea. And because they're like not sure, of course their husband's going to be like, no,
Fuck
like
no.
if you don't seem sold. Whereas
Right.
versus if I was like, went to Andy, like, I know 5 grand is a lot of money, but I believe this person can help me. And he would be like more inclined to be like, look, I trust you. I don't know who this person is, but like you seem like sure. Do you know what I mean?
Right, right.
So it's really trying to just dig in a little bit under that first, like, I need to speak to them because that's normal, but let me just check in. Are you a yes? If there was no money, if that wasn't an issue, like, are you a yes? Like, do you think that this is the solution to your problem? And do you think, like, because I remember I paid for a coach on a whim. I'm so bad sometimes, but it paid off for like skin because and I'm not so bad now, thank God. But like, I used to have really quite bad skin, or it was bad for me. It was like annoying and painful for me. And I paid, at least a couple thousand for this skin coach, and actually the things, it doesn't matter what she did because loads of it I didn't agree with and like blah, 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 but the end result was my skin was clearer, and I'm like, I would pay 2 grand all day long. Doesn't matter if it was like one change that like she gave me, but at the end of the day I got the result that I wanted. So it's like, so if you were to ask me, I'm like, yes, I would pay that because how much pain I was in with it, I would pay that all day long. So that's just my thought, like get more to like are you sold first?
I love that. It
That's
is
so
like,
good. Yeah, thank you.
this was awesome. And I think this is so good for everybody because we're all going to have these kind of situations. And I feel like that, like, hey, it's normal. I just want to check in. Normal for you to want
Mhm.
to ask. And then it makes it like, just like we were saying in the beginning, I just like to create that like ease to be like, I just want to check in and clarify. It's like, if you feel like it's worth it, do you actually like, and again, we're going to be friends no matter what. Just want to check in and like see. It's like, what if you're feeling like that? And if so, awesome. If not, I can answer a couple of other questions, or you might be a no for now, and that's cool too. It's
Yeah.
like, that's, you know what I mean? It's like, but then it opens the door to have conversation, which is so badass. I love this. Like, it's normal for you to have questions. Of course, if you didn't have questions, I'd be like, that's like interesting. It's like awesome marketing then. But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's just like it also opens up like where they need more like information. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they're like, well, what
Yeah.
they tell you in that answer is going to tell you either what you need to go back over or say in a different way or explain or clarify with them. Um, it just tells you where to go rather than you know what I mean? Just not
Yeah.
not really knowing.
No, that's so
Anyway,
good.
that was just my kind of thought.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do ask like, what is your commitment level to, to joining this program or to making a change? Is it one, I think things are okay the way they are. 10 being like, heck yes, when do we start? Where do you fall? And most of the time, they're telling me an 8, somewhere in an 8 to 10. And if they're less than that, then I will say, okay, so what would make it a 10? What's holding you back? That kind of thing. But I think the husband question too, like do you see the value? Just saying it, you're trying to get at the same issue
Right.
Yeah,
from a different door. So I like that too. Thank you.
you're welcome.
I'll add that.
Oh, pretty
Mhm.
good. How are you feeling now? Are you ready for these follow-ups that are coming?
Not yet, but I'm gonna get ready. Like
You're gonna get there.
I'm gonna go over this again and I'm gonna,
Go
yeah,
over it again. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach back out to, um, feel free to, of course, like reach back out to us. And
yeah.
I said, like, change those things, just like mini to-dos.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's all good stuff. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Of course. Proud of you. Literally a couple emails, 5 consults. What?
I
More?
know. I'm proud of me too. Honestly, I'm just like, okay,
Me too.
I'm back. Like, oh, phew.
Because you just decided that, like, it's like, it's cool to be like, I am in control of the money that my company brings in. You know, it's
Mhm.
like, that's what I want you to walk away with, that you
Yeah.
always have been in control. And that's going to create a lot of safety for you in your business to like go forward, you know?
Yes.
So,
So thanks. Thanks, thanks,
of
thanks.
course, of course. Very proud of you. Very excited. Demetria said that she is going to be able to talk after she's out of where she is right now. Nadia, I wanted to see if you would like some coaching and start with a win.
Always.
Always, which I love. I'm like, this is like what I love. I'm like, bring the coaching. What would you like the
Okay.
coaching on?
Well, first of all, I wanted to ask, I asked, I don't know if you got my message, but which is totally fine, but like, I was just, one of the questions I was thinking of is, I was speaking to one of my client about like reaching out to people on Instagram and things like that. And you know how like it's like reply to content and reply to stories, but like her potential client isn't like active on social. They're like a lurk. They just like watch everybody's. They don't actually post or like they don't do anything. So it's like, how then can you start to get into a comment? You can't reply or like comment on a post from 5 years ago about their, or not 5 years ago, but you know what I mean? Like if it's not actively relevant. So what would be your thoughts on that? Or like how to get into conversations with these
How
types of
to
people?
start
So I can
conversation?
help her.
Yeah, well, and this is like, so does she have it would be dependent on these two circumstances. Does she have a clear, does she have a larger following? I would say anywhere over 500 would be large enough for what I'm about to ask.
She's got about 700 followers,
Okay.
but she's just niched down. So like these
Okay.
followers are probably not all her ideal, you know, like she's kind of really narrowed down into who she's wanting to serve now.
Uh-huh. Okay. The next question is her niche somewhere that she could speak to? Like, what is the niche that is there somewhere for her to talk to people in this niche? That would be
What do you
like,
mean? Like,
so essentially like for if she niched down to like perimenopausal women, is
mhm.
there a place where the perimenopausal women are that might not necessarily be on Instagram? It could be in Facebook groups or something where
Yeah,
she
we've
could
spoken
start to
about
position
that
herself.
because that's what I've said to her
Okay.
is go into Facebook groups and, you know, be of value, like treat that as like your job. You're just going in to like serve and be of value to people in there. Like, but
Yep.
it's not the same tact as like direct
It definitely
conversations.
isn't.
So, which
So,
is fine, but it's because I went over that with her because I thought that was perfect for her. But then I was like talking about Instagram too, because her platform is Instagram, right, which is where she posts all of her
mhm.
content.
It should repost it to Facebook too, though, right?
I don't know if she does.
Oh, well, she should do that. Okay.
It's
So
just because I think her Facebook, and this is a similar drama to me, so I totally believe her. I'm like, but my Facebook is my personal Facebook, which isn't really full of my ideal people. You know what I mean? So that's why.
okay,
But
I
like for
feel it.
personally, I did for a whole year when I was like talking about general coaching. So I was
Mhm.
like, there's people in my thing that would be interested. But then when I went full on into coaching and like coaching coaches, there's not very many in my personal network of them. So I didn't. I
Okay,
don't.
I was about to say that could be a thought. I was like, I also had a thought that like there is nobody who's a solopreneur in my network. I was like, I just have to find a new network. But instead of starting from scratch, I found out that like I inspired a ton of people to start businesses.
Mhm.
Like, so it was like back when I started talking about, and I was like, hey, like this doesn't have to be this difficult. And actually, Morgan, who's in this round, just shifting some things for her, um, she is a friend of mine from college. And she was like, I felt like I could actually go out on my own and actually like start this and actually like because of what I was saying. So
That's
maybe
good.
they're not people in her niche now, but they could be later. I want to offer that
Mhm.
to you as well. So it's like
Yeah. No, I
really,
agree because like loads of people messaged me in that from when I was doing when I was posting every day about general stuff, like and they like I'd helped them loads and like, you know, and it brought but I just feel like and I totally agree with her. Like, so say for example, she's helping women struggling to conceive, right?
oh
Over
yeah.
35. Like that's her niche. But like to post every day in your personal Facebook group about that, like I'm in my head, Because I'm the same, like if I'm going to post about business every day, my personal thing, there might be like one person, but then you're going to bombard all of your friends and families with something that is not relevant. Like, I also don't think I agree that that's the best route to go.
Okay. I think you do too. Okay. And I want
She's
you to
not
think,
saying no, by the way. I'm just thinking it
I
because
think
that's
these are
what
your
I
thoughts,
think.
and I'm like, let's just like think about this. What is the worst case scenario? What are
Well,
you
it's
afraid
not
of?
see for me because as I say, I did it for a year. Like it didn't bother me because I genuinely believed like there would be more people that I could help in it, right? But because I'm so niche now, I'm like I don't. It's weird. I was like, I don't think it's fair to like bombard every single person I've known throughout my life because I would post every day. Like I don't think it's fair to like bombard them with information that they never asked for or is not relevant to them. Like,
Okay.
would
Okay.
anybody else agree?
I was like, well, this is so. I was like, don't agree yet, people in the chat. Please don't do agree. I was like, we got thoughts. I was like, don't agree. I was like, because I just want to get clean first. Okay.
Okay.
So that might not be relevant. So if we're thinking about this,
Yeah.
if that's the case, if that like you're going to bombard them with information that's not necessarily relevant, this is the reason why I'm saying like I want people to agree right now. Is
I
yeah.
don't agree. So
I was like, great, great, great. I was like, great. I was like, I'm checking the chat just to make sure. Okay. So within your business, you teach people how to niche. Like that's like the
Yes.
first thing that you do. So if we've got
Yes.
a thought about niching, we have to clean this shit up now because if you have this thought, it's going to be preventing other people that you work with, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
so you've got a thought that if you're niche, you can't use now. Okay, I just want you to see what your brain is telling you. Essentially, if
Hmm.
you niche, then you cannot use your current network.
Well, my personal network, that's different. Like I've got my Instagram, which was built on
Okay.
like for business people.
Okay. So this is a thought that I
Yeah.
want you to think about. I don't know if you thought about this intentionally. And so I was like, this is where I'm like, okay, let's just think about this. You cannot use
Hmm.
your personal network to grow.
Yeah. But I do. Yeah. Clearly, I do believe that.
I think you do subconsciously or consciously. There might be a thought about this. Let's just see if it's going to, let's just think about this. Okay. You can continue to think this thought and it'll be totally
Hmm.
fine. And you can just teach other ways to reach out to people, figure out different things. That's totally fine. However, if we're thinking about like, okay, what are your reasons why and why not? What are your reasons why you shouldn't use your personal network to grow? You said it's not fair to
Because
bombard them
yeah,
with
people they've not like do you know I feel like it's like going into people's spaces that haven't asked
they've
and
never asked.
constantly giving them information versus like people that follow me on Instagram have raised their hand by following to say I'm interested.
Yep. I
Like I would
only
post on my Facebook and be like, come into my Facebook group, which is
okay.
all about business or all about
Yep.
content or whatever it is. But is
Um,
there not a point of being in their space, like an uninvited space? Does that make sense?
okay, okay.
Help me with
Uninvited.
this, because I
I,
guess
I
this is
was
the
like, I
problem. Wait
think
a
this is
minute, what are
important,
you
okay?
saying, Alicia? Because you're laughing.
So
Yeah.
within this, okay, so you feel like it's an uninvited space, right? It's like you feel like they haven't opted in, you feel like it's unconsensual, and that doesn't feel good. And I don't want you to do things that don't feel good for sure ever in this program. But I just want you to think about I think you're thinking about the opportunity. I think you're seeing like not the real, it's like the deeper problem. If you continue to have this thought, then as a leader of niche people, then this is
Mhm.
never going to be this is never going to be
Oh,
something that any of your clients can ever do.
yeah, that's true. Because I
Because
actually,
if
because
you're
I've not
leading by
asked her to do this,
example,
but I probably wouldn't recommend it because I'm like, I get
right?
it.
So it's like, so you wouldn't be able to lead by example. And I want
In
to
that
offer you
area.
in that area, just in that one
Yeah.
area, right? Exactly. So again, we just want to make a clean decision with
Yeah.
all the facts, It's like, so it's like just in that one area. And I know that you work with people at the very beginning of their business, right?
Mm.
The idea that they like it's only fair if it's in an uninvited space, right? That means that they are going to have to, if you have somebody that is started from nothing. Like which you might like have people starting just in certification and things like that, which is not a problem. But I want you to have a very clear plan outside of this that you would feel really confident in, that they're going to be able to grow their network in. And because the problem becomes, how can you actually network with people if you are starting from nothing? Right? If you, and so she isn't starting with nothing. But within that, it's like if you don't have a super clear plan for
Mhm.
exactly how to get them from nothing to a huge following that's chosen them by, what I have found is it's kind of difficult.
Mhm.
This is my thought, is that like it's, if you don't go with just posting to friends and family where they could like they can friends and family, they can always opt out. Like it's like they don't have to like, I've had people tell me that they were like, "Oh yeah, it's like they just don't pay attention to it anymore." There's like they got used to it. It was weird initially, right? It was they were like, "This is a lot." And then no, that's how I am. I was like, "Hi everybody." I was like, so we're talking about using your personal network to grow. Now, when we say that, what I do not mean, and it's interesting because I've not been clear about this enough that like my copywriting coach literally thought that I teach utilize your friends and family and get them to help you grow your business. That's not what I mean. It's just simply reposting to your Facebook so that you can have a presence there, so
Yeah.
that when people go, if the if let's say they do, if your solution, if they don't have a network, they've got no network of people in their niche, if the solution is to go to a Facebook group, they need to be a leader on Facebook to get credibility, or have like a badass website that they're, but it's like if they're in Facebook groups, it's the same platform. So if they are like, if you go into a Facebook group and you're like, okay, I like let's say you're in 2K and you answer a couple questions. People are probably gonna be like, who is this Nadia girl? I liked her answer. It's a very simple process for someone to go from Nadia commenting on in Facebook group to Nadia's
Mhm.
profile on Facebook. It's just one button.
Yeah.
That I think is simple. And we want to make it simple and easy for people to sign up and work with us and things like that. I think that the alternative would be that you have like what would the alternative be if they're not posting in the Facebook group? That would mean that they're going to have to they're like, "Oh my gosh, I love what Nadia has to say." They see your page, there's nothing that is related to coaching, so they're like, "Huh, interesting. Maybe she has a separate business page," and then just be like clear about that. But I like to remove steps. And so I'm like, if I could take a
Yeah.
step out, that might be helpful. But I want to see what you think, because this is like, yeah,
Yeah. No, I totally get how what you're meaning, like if I'm helping people from scratch to do it. But no, and I see that for sure. Like the way and it probably is something that's bothering me at the minute in regards to going into Facebook groups and doing more networking, because I'm like, but I'm not posting on my Facebook. Like, so it's been something in my mind. What I do have is my banner on Facebook talks about my business,
okay.
and I have a link to like either my freebie or I have a link to my Instagram. You know what I mean? So it's like my content on my Facebook is just normal, like life, normal stuff. But as soon as they were to land on my page, it says business coach. It's got a the background picture is
Yes.
about my business. And the link would either be to either going to a Facebook group or going to my Instagram. So I think there are ways around it
There
if
are ways around it if they don't
decided
want to do
not
it.
to.
And another thing that you could start doing is they could also make a professional Facebook, or have like a page or something like that, and that's what they could use to comment on people. So yeah, there are
I
ways
don't think
around
you
it.
can comment via a professional page though. Like I
I
think
don't
it
think
needs
you
to be,
can.
you
I've had
can.
people
Mine's
join.
is just in the background in case I ever want to do ads. Like that gets posted to
Look at
it, like with
Delicia's
my
color.
Instagram. Do you know what I mean? Because that's like linked.
Yeah, so
But
there are ways around it if you really feel that like, and
yeah,
again, I want you as a CEO of your business to be like, this is my stance, and
yeah,
I want to stand firm in this, because I
yeah.
feel like it's the best reasons. Again, just giving like I just want to give you like an alternative
Yeah,
perspective.
no,
It's
I
like here,
totally agree. Totally see that. And
and
it's funny
yeah,
because when I was doing general, I was like, there will definitely be people in my audience of like 700 Facebook friends that would get something from this. And it did. I got clients from it, right? But then when I went to business, I was like, there's none. But then I
Yeah.
think that with my whole Instagram following as well, I'm
It's
like,
seeing a
they're
little
all
black and
fake. Like, this is
white,
mad.
which is interesting because maybe there were people in your current audience that were like so inspired that they were like, maybe
I
I'm going to
know.
become a coach for this. Like maybe I want to become a coach
Yeah.
because I'm seeing all this. That could be. I don't love to make decisions from a place of black and white always.
Yeah. No, I
You know,
fair.
so
Yeah.
it's like it's just like so it's just interesting that you went from I definitely have people in my audience to no one in my audience.
To know what, yeah, exactly.
And
But then
the
I
other
think, sorry.
just another alternative is like they might not be directly in your niche, but
Yeah.
they might know a coach.
Know people. Yeah.
Like I have a feeling that of how many Facebook people that you have, just for instance, or your client, that they might know or have heard of somebody. Like even though I might not seem like someone who would have like a lot of perimenopausal connections, all the people who I used to teach with are like all about perimenopause. They're all going
Yeah.
through it right now. They're all talking about it. If somebody were to be like, I'm a perimenopausal coach, and I hear Lisa, one of my old friends, talk about it, I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh
You
my
would
God,
hook it
go to
up.
Lisa. But I wouldn't make that connection if I didn't see someone posting about her, if I didn't see the post. The only other thing
Yeah.
that I want to offer is that like on a Facebook page, that so it's like they could have that. That could be awesome. No one sees posts on a page. This goes for everybody. If you do make a page, no one sees posts on the page unless you do an ad. That's how I
Yeah.
started
No,
my
totally
business.
know that. Yeah.
So it's like I don't know if everybody knows that. So like if
Oh,
anyone's like,
sorry.
oh, I just totally want to do that, like I don't need to do it on my personal unless you want to invest, which you totally could. It's an option that some
Yeah.
people go to. They're not going to spend.
Yeah, it's opened my mind to think about posting online. I think because, especially with my niche now, which is even nicher, it wasn't just business, it was business for coaches. I'm like, I have no coaches in my Facebook world, like in my personal life. Like,
Mhm.
so yeah, it is definitely a thought about
I
it. And it is interesting how it went from one extreme to the other.
That's where I'm like, I don't understand how it went from such an extreme, like, of course, and it worked to being
Yeah,
like and the thing that I also want to offer as a business coach that's like leading other people, like, okay, it might not work for you. You can give me just give it as an option. Like, it doesn't have to be like this is always what I
this
tell
is the
people.
strategy.
It
Yeah,
doesn't like that's what I'm saying. I don't love to make decisions in black and white. I just am like, this could be an option for you because of the size of your audience, because we're trying to get this positioning and you're going into Facebook groups. This is
hmm,
one of the things that these are the two options. You can
yeah,
either make a page and redirect, or you can post on personal. But if you are choosing that route to bring more people in a niche, these would be my two recommendations because
yeah,
we want to position yourself as a leader on Facebook.
yeah. No, that is fair. Fair enough.
You know, just because trust me, I've had people come to me and they've been like, so I've deleted my entire personal Facebook group. I've deleted everything, deleted all their friends off of Facebook, and I have nothing. And I'm like, because they've got so many thoughts about people
No.
judging them for their business.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh my God, they can't like see this. I'm embarrassed about it.
I've been there for
Like
sure.
two people, like they've got like two followers on Instagram and they've got nobody on Facebook. I found that I know that you're going to probably have some people like that, just
For sure.
predicting. And it is possible for people to start from zero and build a business for sure.
But it's
It just can
harder.
be a lot. It's like all like it just takes away an extra step that like
Yeah. And
if
your
you're willing
first
to
few clients are normally from your personal network because there's already trust there. Like, there's already trust. That's why my first few clients, I knew them in
y-
some capacity, because they believed me already because they knew me as a human before a coach.
yeah. So
Um,
before I was like, Alicia, I know you've got so much to say. I'm so excited. I was like, I
she's gonna
love
show at me, I
in the
know.
chat. I'm just like loving this dynamic and I'm here for it. I want to know what decision would you like to make? Like as a like being like I can see both sides. What
Mhm.
decision would you like to make? And we can coach it from there.
For me or for my client? For me.
I would say let's make a decision for Nadia and then let's make a
Yeah,
decision
okay.
for your client.
Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm probably more open to posting more on my Facebook page. I don't think I want to go to if I'm only posting 3 times a week, then yeah, maybe. But I don't know if I want to go full blown from like a year of no posting about this, like my coaching to suddenly all of a sudden every day of the week
Yeah, so you
posted
can
about it.
totally, I
So
love
I
that
think I might start to
decision.
just gradually drip in to remind everybody, oh, by the way, I'm still a coach. I'm a business
Still do
coach.
this. Great.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to offer to you is that the if you're choosing to post 3 times a week, we want to go with the thing that could get the most views. So I would recommend highly doing your reels. They're really good. They're trendy. I would
On
highly
Facebook.
recommend reposting your reels to Facebook. That
Yeah.
would just be my perspective. Or do like 2 reels, 1 post, but I want you to have a plan. What do
Yeah.
you what do you feel?
Yeah. I mean, I literally just used to do everything on both platforms. But
And it worked, which is interesting.
yeah, it worked. That's so funny, isn't it? But and then I just stopped it.
And stopped. And interesting, we have like it hasn't been the same flow.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting, isn't it? That's so
Isn't
funny.
it? I don't know if it's a coincidence, Nadia. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm not sure. The
That
same
is so
flow.
funny. That is really
Just an offer. Just offering that to
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Now,
that's fair.
so what about for your client?
Well, I mean, we didn't really go into that, to be honest, about that. We did speak. We talked about going into the Facebook groups, being the person of value, like really, not to get client. We spoke about like the way to do it.
Mhm.
Which I mean, she wants to do it. She's going to work on that. But then when I did try and teach her about like the networking on Instagram, I don't really know. She was like, so I was like, oh, the best thing's like to reply to stuff. But all the people, they're not really active. So I was like, it's different if you're searching for business owners. Because I take
Mhm.
it, Alicia, do you do the networking on Instagram or do you just do it on Facebook? Because your people might not necessarily be, stories every day and, all that jazz.
I just do mine on Facebook. I don't, I'm learning Instagram. Like it is not, I'm a words person. I'm not a visual person.
Okay.
So that's why I've never gravitated towards Instagram at all. So it's been a learning process for me. And so I'm just hanging out there more just to figure it out.
Yeah.
Um,
And so do you do personal outreach on Facebook or do you just do like Facebook group
You know,
networking?
well, that's what I was saying with Megan earlier about messaging people on Facebook. I have done that, and I have done that with everyone. I used to do it with every single person that came into my group, and then it just got to be such zero yield, such low yield
Yeah. But the thing
that
is,
I
I want to
stopped.
offer to you that you don't know about Alicia. The Facebook group isn't that part of your ad?
Yes.
So
So,
there has been paid, like this is a paid option.
well, they pay to get, it's
Or
the
you
ad
paid
takes
it
them to
from
the lead
yourself.
magnet. The lead magnet takes them to
Takes
the Facebook group.
Yeah, so
exactly.
that's how you're filling your Facebook group that way. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Now the more you grow, and it's super interesting. I don't know the algorithm behind how this works, but I do get people into my Facebook group just randomly because Facebook suggests it for them. And
Mhm.
it's pretty funny that I will get like, I think it has to do too with how my ad's running. Cause like all of a sudden I'll get an influx of people from Canada or I'll get an influx of people from, a certain region. Um, so there is some organic traffic to my Facebook group too. But
Yeah,
those are the two ways. And I used to I invited everybody on my personal list to my Facebook group.
Yeah.
me too.
But here's what I want to say is that the people in your personal network become your brand ambassadors. Like
So good.
everybody who knows me knows that I'm the knee person, right? So,
Yeah.
and every time I see people just randomly that I see on Facebook, they'll be like, "Oh, I love seeing your hiking stuff and how you're helping people with knees. I just, that's so good that you're doing that. And I love that." So I'm always top of mind. Now,
Mhm.
I don't post as aggressively anywhere on social media as I do to my email list. Like that's where my primary
Yeah,
market.
that's where you work, isn't it? Your email list. Yeah.
But I certainly keep that up and I certainly make offers on my personal page. Does everybody on my personal page have knee pain? No. But do people call me and say, "Hey, can I call you about something?" Or "My mom fell and hurt her knee. Can I call and get your opinion?" It's like,
Mhm.
absolutely. Because they're going to be my brand ambassadors. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
that's
I
fair.
know somebody. So, and honestly, I have I have limited how much personal stuff I put on Facebook anymore, mostly just about from my own feelings of social media, and I kind of didn't stop putting much stuff about my kids on there.
Yeah.
That's just my personal feelings, but I do put random stuff in there every once in a while so that I'm not constantly pitching my people.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, here's the other thing. It's like your network might be 700 people. You might have 700 friends on Facebook, and I'm going to tell you, like 5 of them are going to see your post.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because that Facebook algorithm, and probably all algorithms except for maybe TikTok, is supposed to be better at this. They just don't. Do you see half of the people that
No,
you
you see
are
your
friends
kind
with?
of main people that you read, like the main, you've got your main
But
current people in your life.
those are the people that
Algorithm
they
makes it that
know
way.
because you're commenting on it,
Yeah.
because you're commenting
Yeah.
and
Because you're
replying
giving
and
it, yeah,
engaging. You're
you're
engaging
engaging
with.
with so you see the same peoples over and over again.
Yes, that's why. So, that's the other thing, is that you can blast that stuff out there on Facebook, and nobody's going to feel blasted, except maybe the one
My
person,
core
the
people.
one person that you're exchanging memes with all the time, right?
Yeah,
So
okay, fair enough. No, this
those
has
are
been
those
helpful
those
because
are
I
just
had
the
just
facts.
blanketed no. Sorry.
Yeah, those are just the facts about how the platform works and
Yeah.
how it's working. So, Megan, my hat's off to you. You gave some excellent coaching. You didn't just start laughing like I did. I apologize
I'm
for
like,
that. I apologize.
I'm just
No,
like,
that's funny. I laugh with you because I know that like I can help other people with loads of other stuff, and then with me, it's ridiculous comments that I'm like, nope, I
nope,
can't do
never
that.
post
So,
on this ever
so
again.
good job, Megan, for getting to the core of what's up. But also just know that that platform is not, it is not the billboard, the constant flashing billboard that you think it is.
Yeah, okay, fair one. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
It like that, like I just think that there's like the other thing I was thinking about as you were saying that, I don't know, can pages friend people?
No, it's got to be
So
personal. Yeah. So if I
so
want to do anything on Facebook, I need to use my personal account. But then what I was thinking, which I've not been doing at all, I've not been in Facebook groups for ages, but like I want to go back to that because I do think it's an easier way rather than just random outreach, right? Is just going in the groups and just being visible, right?
yeah.
But there was always that sticking point of like none of my content on my page talks about what I do, except for like banner and like heading and link. So I'm like, yeah, it could work, but I suppose it would make more sense if I did post about
And
my
here's
business.
the other thing, is that I'm always super frustrated if I see somebody make a comment in a group or something and I want to learn more about them.
Yeah.
And I'm always super frustrated when I go to their Facebook page and it's just like a couple of memes. Like there's no
Yeah.
Mhm.
information there.
I hate when you go to
So
someone's Facebook page and they don't have their Instagram handle because I like to, because
I
I'm an
know.
Instagram person,
yeah.
like, because I would, Megan, from what we do, right, is I would find someone on Facebook and then I would go to their Instagram and then I could interact with them on Instagram. I think it's so much easier to personally interact rather than
Mhm.
just being a weirdo that friends them. Because I hate being friended by random people. I'm like, you're not my friend.
Exactly. And it's
Yeah.
like this is like if they, and then you can like literally like, so every time I post in 2K, and I'm like coaching in there next Monday, but I'm going to like, if anyone posts anything back about it, any celebration I have in there, I friend all of them. I'm like,
Yeah.
friend immediately. And so then they can start to see my stuff, because the second you friend
Mm.
somebody, then they start to see your stuff. If like they, let's say something goes viral, they like this person talks about perimenopause in a late, I hate it calling geriatric pregnancy. I'm literally like going to think about like freezing my eggs soon. So I'm like learning about all these fun things. But it's just really interesting because if she posts something, it goes viral in a group and they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best." She wants a way to like directly connect to those people right afterwards because they'll remember her.
Yeah.
So
Here's the
these
other
Yeah,
are
that's
thing. You,
fair.
you're more likely, if you communicate through Messenger, they're going to see it if you're a friend. If they're not
Yeah,
friends,
yeah,
they,
yeah.
they probably won't see it. So that's another frustration
yes.
I have with Messenger. So for that reason, I've friended anybody who comes into my Facebook group because they have to answer some questions. Anyone who comes in that's a warm lead, I will friend them, send them a friend request so that they're seeing my personal stuff too, just to double my chances that they're going to see something from me.
Exactly.
But so now in my personal Facebook, I've got like, I don't even know. I don't know half of those people because, and that's the other reason why I stopped posting so much personal,
Yeah,
things.
because it turns into, that's what puts me off, because I don't really want 1,000 friends of people I don't know, that are seeing my life, like not my life, but like, like what I class as like my personal life. Like I've got my
Well,
holidays and like
you can
everything.
always make another Facebook account. So when I was an editor, I have another Facebook account, Alicia Philly, PTMS. And there I would interface with all of the physical therapists, all of my sports professional people over there. And that's where I interacted with them over there. So, you're managing a couple of different accounts, but you certainly could do it.
Yeah. I don't really want another job of doing that, because you're just starting from zero again, aren't you? Like to Megan's note, like you're starting
Yeah,
with
it's
nobody at all.
not hard. You just send out a
I
bunch of.
just like what I've seen people do. I've never actually thought about that. I found that with social media being a part of my job, I don't love posting as much on social media just because I don't find it as fun anymore. I never
Yeah.
really found it fun. It kind of just became like one of those things I was like, oh, this is what I'm up to. So I just chose personally to be like, I'm not even gonna have a personal. Um, like there's no like Megan Wing personal account. Like I actually had somebody from college who was like, so sorry, I like I'm messaging you on your business account. I just didn't see your personal account anymore. And I'm like, well, this is it. So tough.
Yeah, so you
I was like,
just
fine.
took away.
I just took it
Yeah.
away. I was like, this is, and I still post some personal stuff. Like I posted, and I was thinking, I was like, I need to do like a 2023 recap. I will not, but I'm gonna post about me going to Brazil. I'm gonna post about like doing all these like cool
Yeah.
things I've done because I think it does, like, I still have a lot of personal people there and I think it'd be cool. However, I do think that like, I've seen people that are like new Megan Wing personal account, like it would be like a separate account and then you can, friend all the people that you have currently, and then that would just be your new personal account. So you would still get to keep the network and all you have best of both worlds essentially. You
Yeah,
get
but
to
for you,
Yeah.
because you have so many personal, I would just start a new professional account is what I would do for you though.
yeah.
Okay.
Start a
So
now
you can either make a
Nadia
personal account or
coaching. Nadia
make a
coaching. And that's where you put all your coaching content and you just, you send friend requests to anybody that you're, in a group with or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, there's a couple options, isn't there?
this
Yeah.
just the only thing with this is you wouldn't have your passive.
Network. Yeah, you
Here's
wouldn't have your ambassador, as you're saying, like you wouldn't have anyone seeing it to begin with, and like apart from starting from scratch, building an audience in the Facebook.
But
It'd
you
be this,
also you make a lot of reels, and so you could post your reels on Facebook, and people can join your group, when they see your reels. So those reels get more play than, than I mean, people could join your page or send you a friend request. But my question is, are your people on Facebook?
Well, they're in Facebook groups. There's loads of coaches in Facebook groups.
Okay, well then, yeah.
I think. You know what I mean? Like there's
I don't
loads
know.
of groups.
I'm not in any coaching groups.
Are you
you
not?
are
I've got
you're
loads of
2K.
I mean, I'm in 2K, but that's because that's a private group because I'm in that program. But otherwise my groups are all hiking and I've even
yeah.
gotten out of all of my PT
But
groups.
she is in groups. UOC, but you're in groups of
Yeah, yeah,
things
yeah,
that interest you.
yeah, yeah.
So there are people that that's just my thought. So, and again, just give them the option. It doesn't, yeah, Harmony, you do not have to be on Facebook.
Smart girl, Harmony, don't do it.
What
It's
is
like,
everybody saying? Wait a
she
minute.
should, okay, the amount of,
I'm not
and
on
I talked with
Facebook.
her in our one-on-one about this, and we've had discussions about this, and I'm like, the amount of Facebook groups that are for New York City are, and moms in New York City are
Yeah, but
ridiculously plentiful, just offering it to you. Just like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the
interesting
only
that you
thing is
came
like
in at
the
this part of the
best thing about
conversation.
Facebook is the groups. Like you can go and find people that have opted in to say, I want to be in this group because I'm interested in this.
Harmony, remember how you also said that you wanted to be called out sometimes and like ask for coaching when it was like, so
Yeah,
sorry.
that's 30 minutes left. So yeah, I'm here.
So we're going, so this is completely unrelated, but yeah, like there are a fair amount of Facebookers. We'll get to coaching you in a minute. Just put up on your radar. A lot of people, very niche. It's like you can just look for something and you'll find a group for it. Like, and you can also do that on LinkedIn. I know we're doing that on LinkedIn, but just offering, just putting that out there.
Yeah, it would open up like a big door for
Oh yeah,
way
for
more
sure.
workload. And for now, I'm just thinking between my full-time job, everything that's like I'm
I
already
get it.
doing so much. Like I don't even watch TV at night because I'm always doing something. So I'm like,
Yes.
I cannot add something more at that point. I prefer to do what I'm doing better.
Well,
Like
and the
being better
only
on
thing that
Instagram with my current networks, the people I know. Like I'm going to contact a couple networks, like the single mamas group that I'm part of here in downtown Manhattan, which
yes.
doesn't have any support. It's just meetups, another divorced women groups in New York. Like I'm gonna, yeah.
So, and I
So
also want to like, it's just like you said, like I don't want to add another thing, and it's just food for thought for the future. It's also whenever you're ready, whenever you've got a little bit more free time slash flexibility, another offer, another just so you don't think that it's hard. You literally like there's a swipe bar on Instagram where if you say repost to Facebook, it'll just
yeah,
repost
I saw that.
everything that
Yeah,
you're doing on Instagram to Facebook. So it doesn't necessarily have to be
yeah.
like you post again. It's not extra work. It's just a little thing that you swipe.
Yeah.
Can I
So
ask a quick
I
question
see
about
that.
that?
yes, Nadia,
My Instagram is linked to
to your
my
page.
business page.
Yeah, you just have
How
to
do I
unlink it.
link it to my personal? Or do I
So
need to physically? Because what I used to have to physically post it again. Is that right? Yeah, okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
that's annoying, but I would say that like it's changed a lot since I've done it. So it depends on if you're a creator account or a business account,
I
and
can't
you might need
remember.
like I would look up a YouTube video and please, if you don't mind sharing it, video in in the stream, but like figure out how to unlink. You might need to make yourself a creator versus a business account. I don't know if you know, but that's the and then link personal if you wanted to.
So
Again,
Here's the thing though, if you want it to, you can't do it the way you have it currently. It will only post to your business page on
yeah,
Facebook.
yeah.
However, you can set it up where if you post on your personal Facebook page a story, it will go to Instagram.
mm-hmm.
Yes, it does, but it goes to my personal Instagram because I've got like just Nadia like personal Instagram.
Oh,
You know, so it's like my personal's linked to my personal Instagram,
Yeah,
and then I've
you
got my
already have a personal.
professional Instagram. Pardon,
I was like,
Megan?
you already have a personal, and these are your thoughts. I was like, a personal Instagram, like, so that's why I think that you already had, you had thoughts about like creating a personal Instagram, but it was like, I think the thought is just that you don't have a personal account for Facebook. So then just I would say then make a professional, because I think that that's what you're talking about, the consent, right? You already had a personal Instagram.
Yes.
So that's where you feel safe to be like, okay, I feel good with Instagram on my professional account because I already have
Yeah,
the
because it was just
separation.
it wasn't yeah, it was completely business. I just built it from scratch.
Yeah, so then you could always do the same. Like you could always do the same with Facebook too. And that's
Yeah.
what the last bullet point is, make a professional account and like go with it.
I was one of those crazy people, so I'll relate to new people that like when I started my business, it was totally in secret. And I created an Instagram, like a business Instagram, and then I went and blocked everyone I knew on my personal Instagram so that I could secretly start my normal Instagram. And then I eventually got over it and posted about everywhere on that. But to begin with, that is what I did,
I
FYI.
was like, yep. And so it's like that we just want to notice. Just want to notice and be like, okay, because all of your clients are gonna have the same fucking thoughts, and it's gonna be so much harder for them when they are not necessarily harder, but just going to take more time, and you work with them for 3 months. That's another big thing. It's like if they only have you for 3 months, we want to make it freaking easy for them. Oh, it's 6 down. Was it ever 3? No, just for that thing,
When I
that
first
short
came
thing.
to you, I was going to put it 3, but then I changed it to 6.
I'm glad you changed it to 6. So yeah, I was like, if you, because it was that thing that like mini offer that you had where it was like that. I think that my brain, anyways, exciting about this. I think that this is a great, like, gradually drip in. Again, if you want to, you can also always make a professional account and just giving your client options. That's what I found is like the best thing to be like, the more options I can give my people to grow, the better. Now that they can choose what they want, but it doesn't need to be like like you could do the same thing with them. Just find out their thoughts, you know? Okay. I love you. Amazing.
Thank you,
Of course.
everyone.
Of course. Already start us. Oh, actually, Nadia, what's a win, real quick, and then Nadia, or in Harmony, come with a win as well.
Oh God, I can't think of a win.
It's my favorite time to ask for wins.
What's been a win? I can't think of one.
You have a new client and it's going well.
Yeah, there you go.
Just this one.
Woo! Done. Awesome. How about you, Harmony? What is your win?
Well, I want to mention again, I did my first webinar last week,
Oh, hell yeah.
even though we talked about that during our check-in.
I'm so
midpoint
fucking
check-in.
proud of you.
I got a consultation out of it. It's going to be on Thursday. I follow up with, after following up with all of them, as you recommended, Megan, simple. The consultation I had early January, she's making everything possible to coach with me for 3 months. And I have a feeling my current client is going to renew. And I got an Instagram reel that went a little bit viral.
Amazing.
Reached out like 2,000 non-followers account and
That's
was
great.
1,800 and was like watched about 2,000 times. So that was my best so far. And then I put it on my TikTok account for the first time. So it was my first post, and it got also like 1,000 views almost.
Was
and
it the one
100
with
likes.
the phone call? The
Yeah, the moms, like the call.
did you add?
The school.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
Everyone, feel free to go
But
and
no,
look.
interestingly enough, like not a single additional follower. It was
Well,
just
I would
people
say that
liking
like
it.
but did you change the call to action? Follow me for more stuff like this.
No, this we
Well,
didn't talk about, so I
Harmony.
didn't do it.
I was like, Harmony, okay, 2 new. Any other people that see this?
We
Change.
changed the text
add,
comment with reference
yes, the
to
caption.
yeah,
Add
but I
call.
didn't add follow me for more.
Yeah, let's change that. I'm just gonna put it as a to do. I was like, because I think that's
It's too late, no?
the mystery. No, it is not. People still look at viral shit. Like, I swear to God, I had like I looked back for stuff like, so I used to live in Winston-Salem, and when I was with my ex and stuff like that, and I randomly like looked back and I was like all these had like 100, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? I'm like, this has like, so where did these people come from? And I think it's maybe the hashtags, maybe the location. I don't know. But I'm like, so I would say add a call to action, still more people,
So I
add
have a call to
location.
action about the program, but not follow me.
Let's maybe like make the like follow me for more is
Okay.
like maybe the first sentence. And then if they read all the way through, then you've got the program. Yeah, it's like, but like, so
Okay.
it's like our brains are like, why didn't anybody follow me? Because we didn't ask them to. It's just easier if you write it down. And then we can see.
Yeah. And add the location, why?
Yes, because then people in New York will be able to find you. I keep asking my
Okay.
social media person to do it for me, and she's
Okay.
not. But it's okay. So I'm hiring a VA. And I'm like, we've had a couple conversations with this. It was so good. Okay,
Okay.
so what would you like some coaching on, my lady? No.
I think it's about what we were starting talking when we did our midpoint checking, when I was talking about the women in my building, and I'm like, no, I was very judgy. So that makeup artist, for instance, in my building, who's got 30,000 followers, and we were like, oh, you could do an Instagram live with her. And I'm like, no, I don't want her people to work with me because this is not the type of people I want to work with.
Yeah, we got thoughts there.
Because
And I
in my-
also want to offer, I
but this
didn't
is what prevents me from like, but those are my clients. Like this is high end.
Mhm.
So
I also, so I told Armony to remind me of this, and I forgot until this very moment. One of the things that I used to do is I would have a collaboration document. I'll put a forced copy here, but I would just, when I first started, I just did collabs with everybody. Like I did a collaboration with yoga people and all these random people. So I'll put that in my notes for today as well. I'll like, get it
and if you
started.
could send us the prompts, like you showed me a
Yep,
template for
as
the
like
prompts for Instagram Live.
prompts for IG Live collaboration. But yeah, so not fair to bombard them with information. Might not be relevant. LOL. So I'll send you a forced copy version of this for everybody, but it's like I was like, here's my intro. And what I would do is like if you click here, you can see an example of it. Let me just put this here because I have to copy paste it. If you copy this, for some reason I didn't make it a link, so sorry in advance. But you can see, and it takes a while for you to collaborate and for it to be on with both of you. But so she was talking for like a minute. This is Danielle, and she was a visibility coach. I was like, oh, I don't do that. So a lot of people talk about like finding people that are niche adjacent. So finding somebody, it's like, oh, maybe people who are moms who are wanting coaching from you might follow a makeup artist. They might follow her. It might be something that they're interested in. There is some mom that is following this $30,000 follower person that might be interested in your coaching. Maybe. There are also some of your followers that might be interested in makeup artists and things like that. They might be like, oh, this is really helpful. I love that she's branching out, not just talking about like coaching all the time. And then you could swing it. The way you have to play it is you have to think about like any live collaborations you do, and you can do it on Facebook. And I'm not sure about LinkedIn because I'm not as present on there, but you can find a niche adjacent person and you can from there pitch yourself, and then you have to think about an angle that would serve both of you. So it's like, and what I did is I would meet with people beforehand, and you'll see I was like, I did collaborations with all of these people. Every single one of them I did a live with. So it's a fair amount. And I was like, this is how I want to do it. And then you can see, like we were talking about when the conversation in the DMs go right, how to start doing this and things like this. And this guy, so just another added benefit to doing collaborations with people. If your brain is like, I don't want to do that, this Taming the Hustle.
No, I won't.
I was like, yeah, so this is a podcast. So if you keep watching it, you guys can do that on your own time. But they had me on their podcast, and it was the most downloaded podcast they've ever had. And a person from Apple apparently was like, we're like going to keep an eye out. So because I did an Instagram live with this girl Danielle and nothing directly came from it, what happened is I got I got asked to be on their podcast and went viral for them. So it's like that's another way to build an audience. Does that make sense? Like it's like I think that everyone should do collabs. I think they're great. So yeah, that's my 2 cents here. How but in order to do that, you have to get out of the judgment. So what are your like in order to find niche adjacent humans, what can I do to help you see like I think that you might not have again, we didn't have much time when we did our one-on-one, but I think it was again meant to be because everyone I think needed to hear this. What can I do to like support you in that way?
So I'm all sold on like the idea of doing lives. Like I know I'm going to do it with my divorce lawyer. I'm going to meet with that woman in my building, that friend, actually, we had a really good interaction over the weekend, and she sent me wine because I offered to help. We talked with Nadia also doing Instagram Live. So it's about that, but it's really about, it was very interesting because I see her Instagram, and so she's a makeup artist, but this is what of most people are, not all of them, but I see a lot myself doing. I'm like, they are not ready for coaching. They're ready for Botox, for their lips, for the stuff, for a lot of makeup, but they're not ready for coaching. That's another level. And so that's what is preventing me from like showing up the way I want. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't even go there. They will never understand. They are far behind.
Okay.
Which is very judgmental, and like also thinking like I'm superior in a way, like I'm better than that, so I don't like it. But
No,
this
it's
is
okay.
it's
Thank
like
you for
I
being
cannot
vulnerable
convince
enough
them
to
they're
share
not
this.
ready.
Like the thing is, it's like we all have these thoughts in our head, right? But I appreciate you being vulnerable and like sharing it in this safe space where we will never share this with anybody else. And all of our brains do this. You're just the one that's been able to actually verbalize it. And because of that, you're going to be rewarded like for years to come. So, of course, our brains judge. It's literally what they're designed to do. And you're like, they will never understand. It's above their level, right? And it's okay. It's like,
I prefer to drink for sure.
prefer to
I mean,
drink
sometimes they
their
even say, yeah,
coaching
I
bottle.
really need to drink. A mom's catch up is just about wine. Anyway, I'm like, yes, maybe. And as soon as we start talking, I'm like, no, clearly it's not.
Okay.
And
I want you to think
yeah,
about
and
like,
so, and then I'm not even thinking about doing an Instagram Live, and unless my coach tells me you want to, and I'm like, okay, I want to, and I'm like, okay, but then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so judgmental, so this is preventing me
okay,
from doing a lot.
of course. And so what you said that when are they ready for coaching is the question. Are they ready? Like this is a very important thing because then we'll know what your brain is like. Oh, not ready, interested in, and I'm guessing there might be some sort of like judgment with like makeup and superficial, and that like coaching is deeper. Maybe as like I'm just giving unhelpful thoughts, but I'm guessing that's maybe the connection that your brain might have made. Because I think that I think society messages, and it's not your fault that you're having these judgments. I think that society uses some things like makeup and things like that to think that like these aren't deep thinkers, like this is not, and the solution that she's offering is not necessarily it is a potentially a symptomatic solve, right? Let's just say that like it's like it is something that like if we're looking for confidence, like maybe investing in this, that is one solution, and we're open to people wanting that solution. And I also want you to notice that we don't really have a point when they're ready. We're not really so it's like they're just interesting. So it's like, okay, well, when are they ready? It's like, well, they've read enough Eckhart Tolle. They've done this. They've done this. It's like so let's figure out what your brain's parameters are for readiness for coaching.
When are they ready? When they want change, and when
How do
they
you know?
trust that they can change. No, because sometimes you do something.
We just gotta ask your brain. How do we know that they want change?
But that's the thing. I'm convinced they don't want change because they are convinced that this is just the regular life. This is what it is. Especially she's just becoming a new mom, and I remember myself. I was surrounded by new moms who were just sharing like it's just so hard. So I was like, yeah, it's hard, obviously.
Okay.
And I'm like, it took me years.
Okay, so of course, so your brain is like, in my past, it took me a longer period of time. So we might place our own personal like experience on them and be like, oh, it took me a really like years. So it's like thinking they need more time because it's
Yeah,
your
but
personal
it
experience.
didn't take her many years to become a successful makeup artist and to have 40,000 followers on Instagram, and she's way younger than me. So
So if
I'm
we
just
told,
like comparing. I like to.
lots of comparisons happening, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, but
like, of
but
course
like
she
it's a
got
good
it
way
because
for me. It's a good comparison for me to like think about her this way.
Yeah. And so what we want to do is we want to get curious because, like, currently your subconscious is saying that, okay, lawyer mom is serious. They are the deep thinkers. And makeup artist mom, not serious, not deep thinkers. Just interesting. And we get to choose. It's like we can continue to think these thoughts. We just don't, like, I don't know if it's going to serve you.
So I was at that point just before, I was like Instagram live with her. I was like, no way. So I'm not there, but I know that this is what I'm doing, and I just want to like.
Yeah, you're shifting already. And we don't have to shift instantly. And you can still choose not to do an Instagram live with her, even if you think it might be
It's not that they're
superficial,
not deep
it's not.
thinkers. Like I don't think that they're less smart, or it's just like
I know.
this is not what they want. Like they're not interested in change.
And
I
so
just want to cover it up with makeup.
this will cover it up with makeup. Maybe. Maybe. And we can choose to like be like, I see that this is a thought and I'm choosing to keep it. And that's totally fine. You don't have to change your thoughts. You can find other people that you think are more in a different realm. That's totally fine too. I was like, I just want you to see this and be like, it's like this is something I maybe want to challenge. And just like think about like maybe shifting. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's just like, is this going to serve me long term to have these thoughts? Maybe, maybe not. I'm choosing to keep these thoughts now. And I can also do thought work to get myself ready to accept this shift in the future. You know what I mean? And so it's like within this, like when they want change, how do they know? Let's just like I want to bring you back to this. And also don't judge yourself for judging yourself. Never helpful. I was like, it's like judging myself for judging myself. It's like, yeah, it's a human thing. So how would you know when they want change? Like, what kind of things would they do? Would they maybe follow people that they think can help them change?
Yeah, I'm not understanding
You're not understanding. Do you want me to phrase
the
it in a different way?
question, which is an easy
Yeah.
question.
I was like, no, no, no. But I think your brain's like, I'm broken. So let me rephrase it in a different way. When like if you were to see someone on the street and be like if you had a crowd of people and you're like, that's my person, that's not my person, what would they look
Well,
like?
no, so no, when I'm in the student, I'm thinking like, they're all my people. But then as soon as I start talking with them, I'm like, oh my God, no, they're not. Like, they don't want to go for a drink. Like, even now when I'm inviting to go for drinks, I'm like, I'm not really interested because I know I'm going to feel shit afterwards. And I would rather do something else and not and go to the gym the day after. So I'm very, yeah. So I'm like, they are my people. But as soon as we start talking, I'm like, oh, no, they're not my people.
Okay, so it's like what we're doing is we're just like you're experiencing right now. The reason why your brain's like, is you're experiencing cognitive dissonance. You've got a thought about these people and a judgment that you feel like is true. And you also are holding like it's like now I'm approaching this and I'm giving you an alternative reality. And your brain's like, no, but they are not my person. So that's why we want to be softer. We want to have like a softer approach and be like, okay, brain, I hear you. But I also, if we were to hang out at the freaking life coach school mastermind, what did we do, Harmony? How did we
What do
meet?
we do?
How did we meet?
How did we meet?
We were drinking.
The mastermind.
That's literally
Yeah,
how
but I
I
have
was
one
like,
drink.
come
No,
out for
I had
drinks.
I had a juice.
But I was
No,
drinking.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
It is true.
Okay.
It is
I
true. It doesn't
also
have
get
to be.
Botox. So I'm just trying to give your brain like an alternative person. It's like, wait.
Yeah, but there's level and level. There's level of
Yeah.
Botox.
I was like, okay. And we was like, all right, I'm just saying, I got Botox. Not mad about it. Freaking
Oh,
does
I know.
Botox.
That's why. No.
And also it's interesting because that tells you about something about my financial situation. I can afford Botox. I would maybe afford something else. And I want to know that maybe they're not your people instantly. But I wasn't my fucking coach who I've worked with now for like 2018. How long ago was that? 6 years. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I've known Jackie forever.
And okay. And my
stop.
current client, which I met through the single moms working group in downtown Manhattan, for her she has drinking issues, and so she drinks a lot, and we know that. So yeah.
So
I have to
it's like
remember it's
maybe
not
your ideal
because
person does
yeah.
drink. You know, it's like
Yeah.
that we
Oh
just
yeah,
wanna
they
offer
do. They
that.
all. I mean, I don't know anyone who doesn't drink.
So it's like immediately when you're saying they drink and they're not your person, we just want to like question that. I'm also
No, they
gonna
are.
tag you.
This is
They are
exactly why they
totally
are.
drinking, right? So it's like it's just interesting. I'm tagging you this in ideal client work. Specifically, I'd love for you to like figure out who your ideal client is and get clear about like what is your ideal person, what age are they, where are they psychographics, and you might find that there might be some overlap of the people who you don't think are a good fit and the people who might be a good fit. And so I'm just making this one for you right now. This is for everybody if anyone gets to look in it. But I know that like the chat is blowing up and I want to see like, so it's like, are you open to hearing some like alternative perspectives? It's okay to say no. I was like, I think there is lots of thoughts that everyone has for you that they would love to
Oh
share.
yeah. Please, please bring it on.
I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I think that this could be really helpful for you. I want you to get clear on who it is. Just be open to maybe they're not as evolved as maybe you think. And again, I know you're not thinking of yourself as more evolved, but like within your brain thinking. And I worked with my coach in 2017. We did 6 sessions. I was one of her 10 free clients for the life coach school. And I was like, don't love this. And I was not in a place to hear it. But because she put herself out there and I was able to like experience coaching, when I went through a break with my former partner, the first person I called my therapist, I
It was
called
her.
a counselor, and I called her. And that was when I really went all in. I wasn't ready for it at the time, but I also like trusted, like she was trusting that the universe was like, hey, you need to work with this girl in some capacity, gave value away without like, again, coming back to the brand identity person, um, the brand ambassador. She's like, maybe she'll be a brand ambassador for me. And then I actually became a client later. So these are my thoughts. But yeah, I was like, what
Yeah,
are
but
you?
so it's two things. Actually, they are my clients because even my current client, she's not happy with the way she used to drink, or now she's got a kid, so it's easier for her not to drink.
Yeah.
She hasn't been in a stable relationship for a long time. So yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that you were able to shift.
Sorry.
Who I was like, I would see like all of the chat. I was just like looking like, what if,
I gotta go. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna
yep,
throw in
give yours, Alicia,
my
go
two
for it.
cents. But Army, why do you think they're doing those things?
Yeah, I know, but I feel like they don't want anything else.
Okay, but is that true?
Well, I know it's the wheel is small inside, but then they covered it with drinks and all the things. Yeah,
Well, is that true?
I don't know.
That's right. You don't.
Don't know.
You don't know.
And maybe it might be
So
worth it.
how would you find out?
Just talking more, asking them.
And how would you do that?
Well, this is what I'm doing 3 times per week or even more on Instagram.
No. We're still,
Maybe
no.
more.
We're talking specifically about this influencer's audience.
Oh,
How-
no, I'm just gonna go. I will contact her very soon and just like, hey, I want to try to reach another audience, and I'm gonna ask her if we can do an Instagram live.
Might I suggest that, as Megan put forth when she was talking about how to pitch for a collaboration, that you go in with an angle that would serve you both?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would prepare that. Like I don't have right now, but of course, I would
Yeah.
not just like, hey, let's do that. I'm not sure what I want to talk about. No, I would be very
No, but I mean, without the agenda of I want to grow my audience, but just, hey, I see your followers. Do you think there's something deeper going on with why they're, and maybe this is just where you coach yourself, like what could be the deeper need inside them and how could you be of service to that need?
Yeah.
Well, it would be something about, hey, you can feel good with makeup, but you can feel, well, I mean, something, yeah.
Isn't one of your pillars confidence?
Yes.
Yeah. So it could
To
be,
generate confidence from within, self-confidence.
Yeah, without shaming the makeup and the Botox and
Yeah, you
the
can't. That's what I was going to say. You don't
No,
want
no, no,
to.
I won't.
You
I
don't want to
do
be like,
makeup
don't do
too.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, just because, it's evident those feelings have deep roots within you. And Megan, again, awesome coaching. But just thinking about, questioning, is there truth in the things that you've said, and how would you know differently? And it would be through conversation. So it's quite possible they could be your people. My sister just got a divorce, and well, she's still going through the process, and it's a shit show, and she's doing everything she can to feel good about herself, and including putting on the makeup, buying new makeup, going out for drinks, like all of it. But doesn't mean she's not open to changing her thoughts. So I just would question, if some of the assumptions that you have are true.
Oh no, absolutely not.
And, and I'm like really proud of you. I know this is like a deep one, and I'm so thankful for everyone like in their input. I'm like, because I know, but I also have been there. I know what it's like to be like in a like deep, like, no, I think this way. This is the only way that it could be true. And I'm like, I've so been there, Harmony. I was like, so you are not alone. We've all been there, I'm sure. Like in so many situations where we like, oh, this is like the only thing that can be true. And just thank you for being like open to like all the ideas from us. Like,
I don't look open because I am very open. Like I know it's a limiting
I know
belief.
you're
I'm just,
doing
like
fucking
sharing it
great.
all.
Because I can guarantee that every single person that either is watching this or rewatches this is going to have a similar situation with something else. It's not going to be the same situation, but there's going to be some sort of judgment that doesn't serve them, and it's going to be good. Also, by Alicia. Love you. Um, yay. Wow. What kind of, so now we're like, okay. The other thing that I wanted to add from Alicia's awesome idea is like first off, getting your angle. I was like, I wanted you to think about the ideas for a collaboration, figure out what angle works for you. The second thing that I would want to think about for you is like for your what would you want her to share with your audience? How could you spin that with your people? What would be something that like it's like, hey, I know that we usually talk about confidence within, and I want to let you know that it's okay to like also seek confidence externally. And like that's totally fine. That's part of being a confident person. I use makeup and I have a friend of mine who is amazing at it, and I would love for her to like share with you guys. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, because I think this is going to be key for you. How can I? Because if you can get to a place when you're like, my people need her too, it's going to break a little bit more of the cognitive dissonance you're experiencing, I think. You know? So that was just another ad. Do
Yeah.
you, Nadia, do you have any ideas as well?
Yeah, no, sorry. I just think it's so fascinating and funny, Harmony, because like I wrote in the post, like I see the irony because I'm like, when it's me, I'm like, nobody wants to hear about this. This is ridiculous. Nobody wants to. And then when I see you, I'm like, this is just a great opportunity because you've no idea of all the people in her audience. They might all be searching for what you have to offer. Like they don't show it. And as Alicia was saying, like they're looking it for all the wrong places. And like you could just be this beacon of like, oh, there is another way. Do you know what I mean? So for you and for me, but like it's just getting in front of as many people to share your message, and you have no idea. It could just take one person, and that's good enough, right? It's like the more and more you talk about what you do to anyone that could possibly be, it's like it's only going to help others and help you grow.
Yeah, could
Yeah.
be the theme of our Instagram live, self-confidence from within and
Yes.
externally. You can do both.
You
Yeah,
can do
exactly.
both. You can have it all. And the other
Mhm.
thing is like Nadia, how ironic is it that they literally like not by the way, I don't know if you know this, but no one in Nadia's Facebook group, none of her friends actually want to hear anything about anything at all. So it's like it's just so funny. I'm like, this is the theme of the day. I'm like, interesting. It's just like we can see it for other people, but it's always ourselves. And we're
sure.
like, fuck. It's like it's that one thing. So it's like just noticing. I want everybody that watches this to come. It's like get in front of as many people as possible. It's only going to help. And one of the other just like philosophical things, but it's like people where there was like a study done where people were towards the end of their life and they never regretted the things they did. They only regret the things they didn't do. So it's
Mhm.
like, might as well do a bunch of shit, no regrets, and make the world a better place.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
How are
Love
you
it.
feeling, lady? Are you feeling complete?
Yes.
I was like,
Let's
that was a lot. I was like, but so fucking good. Oh my God. I love this so much. I'm just like, I love each and every one of you so much. And if you have any question, I was like, now the stream is like blowing up. I'm like, the other group has been posting, but I didn't get any notifications. Again, my lovely, hopefully new VA is gonna like actually make sure I get like notifications when people are talking to me. That would be ideal. But I love you all. You're so badass. And I cannot wait to
Thank
see you
you.
guys next week. Okay.
And so in the
Yep.
notes, I will have the link to the client, ideal client, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
Instagram live prompts.
Yes, ma'am. And I also put it for everybody.
Thank
So
you
Okay,
so
I
perfect.
put in the stream the prompts, and I'm just gonna put it. I didn't have it in the notes, but I'm putting it in the notes now.
Put it in the notes now if that's okay. That'd be great. Thank you.
Got you. I
Thank
got
you.
you.
Have a
Okay,
You guys
beautiful
are
take
rest of
care.
awesome.
the
Bye.
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 We'll see you soon.